What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Unqualified Filmbros podcast. Fresh off a trivia game last week. Congratulations once again to Ben Galactus for winning the game. He had a hell of a performance. We're looking forward to watching his choice of movie in a couple weeks. In the meantime, we were talking about a new release tonight, the 37th theatrical entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Kind of wild.
and the second in the Marvel Cinematic Universe not to take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Earth 616, the Fantastic Four First Steps. Gentlemen, retrofuturism, 1960s Earth 828. I will open it up to the floor. What'd you guys think?
Give me like 25 more minutes of a movie or like add some of the stuff back in at least. And we're looking at something really quite special, probably, hopefully, maybe. But I really liked what we got. Um, I think it's by far the best of the Fantastic Four movies. It's a
Low
very low
bar.
bar,
Low bar, but
but it is clearly and unequivocally the best one. Um, Love that they used, more practical stuff. They've been getting more into that with this Galactus's suit, with the miniatures. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll get into some of the plot points, I'm sure, later, but yeah, very happy with this. Very happy with the movie.
yeah, no, I have to agree. I think I agree with the it was definitely edited down too much. I would have loved to see what John Malkovich
Yeah.
had to do, but yeah, it's still good. In its current form, it's still a good movie, but it would have been, really, really great if I think they had this like 25 more minutes. There's no reason that they needed to cut it down. The Figanator needs to take a break.
Well, he's got
But
exact from the release of this episode to the next MCU movie, he's got 364 days of a break.
Well, and he's not going to cut down the 4 hour and 50-minute cut of
yeah,
Doomsday that the Russos are going to turn into him. So,
but I
like,
think
give us a 2.5 hour Fantastic Four movie.
given that they're making Doctor Doom like the big villain, I would have thought that they would invest and say, hey, yeah, add the 25 minutes. Like who cares? Like who has not shown up to a 2.5 hour comic book movie if it's good? Like silly. And yeah, but I mean, regardless, I think that the film does do a lot of good things, which is why I'm sad that those 25 minutes or whatever got cut. Because I think it definitely does the best Galactus. Again, low bar, but it really does do justice to like what he is,
The only other
how he
option is a
acts.
cloud, Ben.
Yeah, that was not good. And they gave him his
Evil, hungry
spaceship.
space cloud.
Yeah.
Famously in the comics, Galactus has this spaceship um, that he's very powerful and eats planets for him and consumed, and he sort of just like sits there so he doesn't have to expend energy. It takes him wherever he wants to go. And I thought that was really cool. The Silver Surfer looked great. I mean, the shots of her just surfing the waves in space,
Okay.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
And the Fantastic Four themselves, it really understood what they are, which is a family. Everything is about that. It's not one person, it's a team, and not just a team, but a family like this, something where the bonds are past a certain point. And they'll give anything for each other, as you can see in the film. So I thought that was really nice. I like Johnny Storm. I was worried they were like, oh, the womanizing, immature guy. And I think it's fine. They took away his immaturity, which only lasted not that long in the comics, um, and just made him a more subtle. But yeah, he's got the womanizer, he's got the idiot part down. I thought it was great. I think every character, it was really well written, really well done.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with each of you, both of you. Um, Best Fantastic Four movie there's been, low bar, we covered that. Um, Great visuals, Shout out Michael Giacchino for another outstanding score. Um, and yeah, I mean the core of this movie, you cannot do a Fantastic Four movie without showing that family dynamic and that bond between the four characters. And we really see that here. We get great cast chemistry. Um, I think it starts with Pedro and Vanessa as Reed and Sue. If we don't believe their relationship and their love right there in the first scene in the bedroom, then everything falls apart. And I think right from the first interaction, we're seeing the two of them as this couple who love each other more than heaven and earth, or whatever the line is later in the movie. Um, but yeah, I think the way that Matt Shakman portrays this bond among the four characters, where we've seen the family dynamic sort of before in the Tim Story movies, um, which I don't think are as bad as everyone says. They're not good, but they're for Fox mid 2000s superhero movies, they're okay. But anyway, I digress. We see some of that family bond in those movies, but it feels tighter and it feels stronger here.
Well,
And I
it's
think
all like lighthearted. Everything is still a bit of a joke, and when they come together, it's too cartoony. It's not a very good movie. That's the problem.
the one from
Everyone is
20
just
20 years ago,
yeah,
I
yeah,
did
no,
do
just not very good.
I
They
did
just
do a
feel
rewatch
like you
of
said, they actually do feel like a family though in this one. Like it
Yeah,
feels like
and
their
also the
kids.
struggles, like there's authentic struggles,
Yeah.
and certainly like they did some of the storylines in the second Fantastic Four, really, where they're married and Reed can't, or I guess they're not married yet, but Reed can't stop being Reed. But it just feels so fake. In this one, it's very real when they have that talk where it's like, you know, that means you thought about it, giving up Franklin to Galactus. It's like the way that his mind works is just,
Sometimes You Being You Hurts Me.
yeah,
Yeah, they really hit on the emotions of Reed and Sue a lot in this, and I fear what was cut was a lot more of the emotional connections with Ben and Johnny. We get a couple of scenes with the two of them together, and a couple of scenes with like Reed and Johnny or Sue and Johnny. A lot of Ben's stuff was cut out, um, which was pretty disappointing because Evan Musbach gives a great performance
yeah,
when he's
I
there.
mean, while I agree, I also think it's more important to focus on the new parents, because that's the relationship that really matters. Like, yes, you have the uncles and Johnny and Ben that are great, but at the core of it, it is two new parents trying to save their child from obviously a world-eating threat, but still it is two parents. And, at a certain point, that is kind of like the thing that matters is they're trying to save their new son.
And I think what Shackman and Pedro and the writers of this film do really well is they lean into what makes Reed the biggest, greatest mind on earth and the neurotic nature of his character, more so than the Mr. Fantastic superhero stretchy powers Reed. That I think, like nothing against Ian Grufford from 20 years ago, but that character was much more like focused in on the superpowers and how do we use these powers for good and XYZ. And what we get here is a lot more focused on Reed as a man, as a thinking person trying to solve the problems in front of him. And then we get Reed as a father in the second half of the film, and that carries over with the neuroticism and the hyperfixation on thinking of how to solve every single problem when sometimes there's not an easy solve.
yeah. I mean, Reed has always been, yeah. I mean, they focus on Reed as the man. I don't know. I think that the Fantastic Four from 20 years ago even focused on that. I mean, it's kind of like central to his
Not
character.
as much though as we see here.
I don't know. You get it's like equal parts.
I think it's just some worse. I mean,
Yeah, it's just
you
done
really,
bad.
you really see the different sort of facets of his life and sort of how they collide in different ways throughout the movie. Like, he was the teacher when he's doing that fun kid show, and then he does it again when he's teaching the world, but he's also doing, he's a new father at that point. So it's like they all collide in different ways, and I think it's just done better.
Hmm.
So let's talk about, we've talked about this family bond here, but let's talk about the story. Let's get into the fight against Galactus, the fight to save Earth 828 and Franklin Richards. What'd you like? What didn't you like? What would you have done better? What would you have done differently? What did you want to see in this movie from a story perspective?
Well, I mean, I want to touch on the space chase scene too, because that led into the big final
That's
fight.
that's Marvel marveling at its best.
That was awesome.
The
Like
second act of this movie is
surfing the
fucking
stars,
perfect.
and yeah, it was amazing. Um, and then, the third act is kind of what you expect. Of course, they're gonna be able to some, maybe, but I liked
No, finish that thought,
of course, I mean, okay,
because I'm
of
going to
course,
challenge it.
at some point they're going to like emerge from it, but we didn't know who. I mean, I don't think we thought any of the four were gonna die in this movie.
Because
They're
they've
not
all been
gonna.
announced for Doomsday.
Also, why would you do that?
Right. Like
But
even when Sue was lying dead on the ground, we knew Franklin was going to save her.
yeah, or she just wasn't dead. It was long in the theater, but like either Franklin was gonna save her or she just wasn't dead in the first
I
place.
will I will point this out to you because the first time I saw it, and I've seen it twice now. The first time I saw it, it did feel like forever. The second time, Franklin was down on top of her and she was waking up like that. It felt like so much
Makes
less
sense.
time on the second viewing. Um, but yeah, obviously with the credit scene of Thunderbolts, where we get a Fantastic Four ship arriving in Earth 616. Obviously we don't see any characters, but we do hear the same theme, Michael Giacchino's Fantastic Four theme. So we can imagine it's these same characters. Maybe that's even a scene in Doomsday because the Russo brothers directed it. Um, but I personally went into this movie expecting Galactus to win and devour Earth 828 and have the four end the movie escaping to 616. Obviously, that doesn't happen. They defeat Galactus. They send him to the other side of the universe. But I don't know. I still haven't made up my mind whether I like that ending better than the one I had in my head.
I like it because you can't have both a Galactus storyline and a Doctor Doom storyline going on simultaneously when you're trying to wrap up this version of the MCU, which is apparently what they're trying to do with Secret War, which makes sense. But if that's the direction you're going, you can't introduce both of these two things at the same time with it already winding down. I mean, they've done worse, I guess, but I don't think you can do that. I think
Galactus
that's
isn't always an Avengers level threat, though.
no, he's a Fantastic Four threat, and that wasn't my point. It's
Yeah,
just that you can't have both of them running around at the same time when you're trying to do a Doom storyline that is supposed to be like the big new thing.
right.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can. Doctor Doom just steals people's power all the time, so he's stolen Galactus' power more than once. Stole Loden's power. He's
Yeah,
gonna.
but they're not going to do that.
He's probably gonna
I don't know.
steal Franklin
We still
Richards'
don't know what
power.
the fuck they're doing with Robert Downey Jr. And we'll
Yeah,
get to
true.
that. We'll
We
get to
have
that when we
no
talk about the credit
idea.
scene.
We
We'll
really have
get to
no
that.
idea.
But
I'm assuming that he's gonna steal Franklin's power
Hmm.
probably.
and then be all powerful. Essentially, what happens in Secret Wars.
Hmm.
There have been some interesting theories circulating on the interwebs about the credit scene and about Doomsday. Obviously, in a year and a half, we're going to know everything that happens. But fuck it, let's dive into the credit scene and talk about Doom for a minute here. Because like He's there. He's unmasked, though we don't see his face. Though Shakman did confirm it was Downey on set. Um,
It's just
he's
annoying.
face
It's
with
annoying.
face to face with Franklin in the Baxter building. Bless you.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I still can't fucking reconcile that it's Downey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
I don't know what he's gonna sound like. I just
oh, you can bet your ass he's gonna put on a Latvian accent.
Oh God.
no, I don't think he will. I'm not sure that he will.
I don't think it matters. That won't make or break the character. I think what they've already done is bad enough. So,
I, at the risk of sounding in denial, I really think it's a smokescreen, and somebody else is gonna be the real Doom.
That's so
I
stupid.
hate that even more though. Like that's the thing.
No,
Like
no, but the thing
I
is
don't know how to process it.
it's not possible. They already paid him. He's got a contract. Everyone knows this.
I'm coping.
What is he gonna? Yeah, so we're gonna pay you $120 million to show up as a doppelganger. Okay.
Obviously, you're gonna reference the fact that he looks like fucking Iron Man.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. Doctor Doom
but
wears a mask
again,
most of the time.
yeah.
Like,
And of
what?
course, the first time we see him, his mask is off. Like we don't see his face, but his mask is off.
I swear, it would be so fucking dumb if it's just fucking Robert Downey Jr. in a cloak. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's what it's gonna be. They pay for his face.
I know, but that's terrible. Like,
You've been saying, Ben, it was announced a
it's,
year ago, and you have been
that's
saying
more,
that consistently for a
yeah, I know,
year.
but it's more egregious if they do that. No, I've been saying, what are they going to do? But obviously, the right choice is to actually just give him a mask most of the time still. But yeah, I assume that they'll have the mask on for a little bit so they can take it off and be like, "Oh my God, Tony!" But yeah,
But back to the four,
yep,
and my question from like 10 minutes ago by now.
uh-huh.
Let's talk about the story a little bit and that second act chase, the surfer, the third act in New York City. What do we like here?
I thought it was good. I,
Why
I
did you think it was good, Ben?
I I didn't feel a need to like, you know, pick out a specific scene and talk about it, but I don't know. It's a clever way to get rid of the of Galactus. They never really beat people too much from their strength, especially Galactus. Always has to be outsmarted. So I thought it worked well. I like the scene where Silver Surfer comes in and just knocks him back even more.
Oh,
It's
after he
cool.
reemerges,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which you knew was coming. She was absent for a lot of the third act.
Yeah, I would have liked a little
Figured
more Silver Surfer. Maybe just a little bit more. Um,
Shalabal's a great character.
Yep.
yeah. So
I enjoyed.
they should have mentioned her lover, but oh well.
They were focusing on the Johnny Storm romance,
I
womanizing
know. But
sexy aliens,
if you're gonna do the
naked light
reverse,
space lady.
you have to include Norrin Rad as the Zenlanian. I don't know what they are.
Close enough.
Yeah, as the one that's still there.
Should have
Mhm.
brought back Lawrence Fishburne's voice for Norin Rad.
Mhm.
He does have a good voice for it. But yeah, I thought she was good, Julia Garner.
Yeah. I could have used a little bit more in her backstory. We do get the flashback scene.
I don't need the backstory. Everyone knows the backstory, George.
I don't know.
And I said, no,
I read that that was part of what was cut, and so I'm just wondering what was cut.
it was probably having to do with Norrin Rad. That would be my assumption. That's essentially his big thing. He's got a romance. They're peacemakers. Um, and then Galactus comes when the Korean scrolls are trying to make peace. And yeah, picks up Norrin Rad.
So where was Galactus in Captain Marvel?
Probably eating a planet somewhere. Remember, he has one goal. It's just to feed.
He's essential.
He is essential.
He doesn't want, he feeds.
But yeah, interesting character. And that's why he's not a good, like, actual overall threat for people. Because he's essentially just like a living force. Doesn't really have wants. He just needs to eat.
And great performance by Ralph Ineson too.
Yeah, it was great. As I mentioned, that was perfect. I mean, exactly what I think a Galactus should look like on the big screen.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed and going just beyond Galactus to the four and the world that Shakman creates. And Max, you touched on this in the opening thoughts with the practical sets and the miniatures. But I just love how this movie felt like a comic book lifted off the page onto the screen. It had that feel of authenticity to its source material, that it just had the sauce, it had the right look to be exactly what it was, like exactly what it was going for. And as an audience member, that was so satisfying for me to watch this story be told in such a way that was true to the source material and true to what fans wanted.
Yeah.
And Ben, I know you love that.
Hmm. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a good adaptation. I think they do justice to the Jack Kirby designs. It's a little spruced up for Jack Kirby, but it's hard to like transfer one for one because cartoons can just be wonky. Big heads, big feet. You never know what you're gonna get. Can't really do that in live action. But for the most part, I did love the aesthetic. The
With CGI
only
and motion capture, you can do whatever you want.
well, yeah, but the only consequence is just that it is all CGI. So it's probably really expensive. That's why they probably cut scenes. Something costs too much. I don't know, which is stupid. You should
Probably
still
an
spend the
explanation for
money.
Ben Grimm.
Yeah, or something. I mean, there's lots of stuff they could have done. There's the whole John Malkovich character that I didn't look up who he was
Ghost.
supposed to play.
He was
Red
Red Ghost,
Ghost.
right?
Red
Yeah.
Ghost. Oh, okay.
And they
Mentioned because
mentioned
of Tom
him
Cruise, but
early on in
the
the film.
opening montage. Yeah. Like
I uh
debuting in 4 years as the Fantastic Four.
I do really
That's another
love.
thing I wanted to touch on was the fact that this wasn't a goddamn origin story. The
Yeah, but it's
four,
our second one. You get Superman and Fantastic Four
I know.
starting
Um,
up things, but are not origin
Thank
story.
goodness. Like,
we
stop
James
it.
Gunn, James Gunn was so fucking right that we don't need to see origin stories every time something is rebooted.
Yeah,
Mm.
or
We
even in
know the
general.
story.
I think origin stories can be very, I mean, they're very tempting, but they're very easy and they're very formulaic by nature.
Yeah.
So it's very tough to do something original, just in general. But like something like Watchmen, that was written from the perspective of like the end of all these superheroes. Somebody's dying, and then you're looking back. I think you could always do things like that. That would be really interesting. Having a gruffled older superhero or something like that. But
We tried that
yeah,
and it was fucking awesome with Logan.
yeah, though we did know we were familiar with that. But yeah, we didn't know like the actual past of what had transpired since the movies we saw. So
True.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
Also,
think no, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say those are in their own like timeline hell because where is Logan? I don't know where what
Apparently,
timeline
apparently, it's in the same timeline as Deadpool.
is. Yeah, but then there's X-Men and like uh
Days of Future
Days of
Past
Future
messed everything
Past.
out. As
Days of Future Past messed everything up, but it's also the best X-Men movie, like of the main seven films. So like,
That's not true. That's
no,
not true.
X2.
Yeah, X2 is the
oh,
best.
true. X2 is very good.
Of the rebooted ones, for sure, it's the
Yeah.
best one. Because there's five of those, right?
Yeah, some of them are
Wow.
terrible. Actually,
The
First
last
Class,
more than
like
Days of
half of
Future Past, Apocalypse, Dark
Apoc-
Phoenix.
Apocalypse sucked. Dark Phoenix sucked.
yeah, there's only
Yeah,
four.
but
Just four.
Apocalypse sucked, but it was kind of watchable. Dark Phoenix is not watchable.
Yeah, it's valid enough. You
Yeah.
still had yeah, I mean Magneto carries any of those films. He's in Dark Phoenix too, and his seems
Fassbender is
Yeah,
incredible.
still
yeah.
looks sick. So
First Class is great.
I haven't seen First Class in a while. I need to rewatch.
Yeah.
but
But
yeah,
yeah, just going back to the idea of this not being an origin story,
yeah, it's
I
good.
think like we know the story. Fucking Ted Gilbert says that at the beginning of the movie when he's doing the whole montage thing. We know the story of how the four got their powers. We don't need to spend half an hour of what will be an hour 55 movie after cuts
Yeah, and I mean,
going through how they got
this
there, like going up to space,
it's not
getting
the
the
first to
powers,
do that. Like Spider-Man
dealing
did
with the
that too.
powers,
Yes,
learning
yeah,
how to use the powers,
yes,
becoming superheroes. Like we don't need to waste time with that.
you're
And
right.
so
We don't need to waste time with that.
And
starting
it's like
movies,
it, and of course, the way they did that sort of backstory was creative because that's who the Fantastic Four are, especially with them being the only heroes on that Earth. They are celebrities. They are like global pop stars. Like they're the thing. They are like,
one of
they
them
are,
is the thing.
yeah, like they are the heroes. So, it's like that's a better way to do it is we get little bits of who they are, what they mean to the world. And it's more interesting than sitting through space explosion, space
We
storm.
still get space explosions. Like again, the
That's
second
true. We
act,
will.
the second act of this movie is awesome.
It's true.
The best
But
Marvel stuff in years. And that's just because it rips off Interstellar, but it fucking rocks.
wait, which stuff?
The black hole escape scene.
What do you mean it rips off Interstellar?
I mean, like the presentation of the black hole is based on the presentation of a black hole in Interstellar.
Do you mean the presentation of a black hole in general?
Yeah, but Interstellar is the one that sort of codified it for films, for science fiction films after 2014.
Well, because he did the research to know what they're supposed to look like.
Right,
Yeah,
and Nolan's a
That's
fucking genius.
I mean they also had the technology at that point and the money to do it.
True.
But I can't give them that much credit. Like, we took a damn picture of a black hole. But yeah, it's a very simple concept. Yeah, to present, not to study.
Thank you for clarifying.
it's a good
Yes.
yeah, it's a good clarification. Thanks, Ben.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought it looked great. I really do love the Galactus suit. Everything about that is,
Yeah.
I was loving it.
I love the texture. Like the colors were great, but the textures of it too.
But that's what I mean. Like it looked like a real suit. They definitely spent their time
Mhm.
on the CGI there. CGI can be good, guys. Just give it time. That also might be why they had to cut things, is they didn't have the time to do all the CGI. Instead of releasing slop like they sometimes have before, they decided to cut it. I'd say that's probably the
Maybe.
wiser move if they really wanted to hit, a release date and you're like, oh God, it's gonna be 2 months later.
I would have waited until September for this movie.
Yeah,
if
but
it
they didn't
had
want to.
20 more minutes.
It's a dangerous thing. Like if
No,
you want to
it's a
release
summer
this,
tent pole and it's gonna
yeah,
have,
because you have to release during the summer. This is the time to prove
Yeah.
that you still have like market value.
and they do.
Especially coming on the heels of Superman, you can't
Yeah,
really back off your date.
you have to keep up the hype for things. So
Yeah.
And they took the top spot at the box office in Superman's third weekend. And Superman had a great third weekend. And they brought in about 25, I think, if memory serves,
yeah, that's
at
where it
North
looks
American
like it's
theaters.
going, right? It's doing pretty well, so should be fine.
First steps.
Yeah.
There's about
Mhm.
125 domestically, 125 globally. So about 250 for its opening weekend around the world, which is as much as I think Feige and company could have asked for out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it made more
Very
on day
happy with
one than the 2015 movie made in its entire theatrical run.
that.
Yeah, but that one sucked. It was
So
I
so
bad.
never I never saw it until like two
So
weeks
bad.
ago.
well, not a lot of people did. That's the problem.
It's
Well, it
okay. They
wasn't
didn't miss
worth
anything.
seeing, and I think that's a bigger problem.
Mm.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It did produce a all-time GIF though that people use
It is
non-stop now.
an incredible, dare I say, a fantastic comic book movie GIF.
Don't say that again.
I said it's
I
fantastic.
um what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I really loved Herbie. That was the other thing that I wanted to mention.
Yes, the fact that
That
Johnny
was
scratches him on the head,
Yeah, my favorite part was definitely Johnny scratching its head.
and calling him Herbert too,
Yeah.
like
perfect.
the formalization of the name. Also, the fact
Hmm.
that he's singing that god awful lullaby, trying his best to Franklin, and then Galactus just right through the window. Yeah, Herbie was great.
Yeah. Do you know they actually had a little man walking around in that, just like R2D2? It wasn't CGI.
And they had, I think I read half a dozen different Herbie models throughout the course of production.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Again, practical always beats CGI.
And they CGI'd up things. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, everything looked good. I mean, the Ralph Ineson costume is CGI to an extent, but he's also wearing a suit. Really, really cool.
and I
I
was
love that.
impressed with the CGI work on uh Eben's
Oh,
mocap
the
suit.
thing. The thing
Yeah.
looked fantastic, especially when he
Say that
grew out
again.
the beard. No, but he just did. I mean, I was thinking about the beard too. It's like, oh my God, that's it's adorable. The little rock beard,
It's distinguished.
very distinguished.
And
He
Johnny
actually
helping him up, like you'd look good with the beard on,
he
man.
looks horrible. Like, you'd shave that shit when the power comes back.
What time is it, Ben?
I'm not saying it.
What time is it, Ben? Say it.
It's clobbering time.
The fact that that's the one it's clobbering time we get, and Johnny's pushing him to say it the entire movie, and we don't get a single flame on.
We
It's
actually
the
get one from the Thing cartoon.
That's
He says
true.
it a few times.
Yeah. But it's a funny gag. Like it's funny. Like,
It is.
You
you
know,
know, it
you know the
works.
Russos are gonna make him say it a bunch in Doomsday.
They're gonna ruin it. They're gonna ruin the joke.
Just give
I
Shakman a
really,
sequel after Secret Wars.
I did love the chemistry between Johnny and Ben was very good. I
Hmm.
love the scene where he pulls out the Johnny Storm action figure.
Hmm.
Flame on, flame on.
Flame off.
It's,
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
think
good.
because like I'm not gonna talk about 2015 because that movie is garbage,
You
but
keep talking about it though.
I keep talking about 2005 and 2007. And in that movie, we get a much different dynamic. In those movies, we get a much different dynamic between Ben and Johnny because it was like the CO versus junior officer kind of power dynamic to start, and then they still sort of have that older and younger relationship carrying throughout the back half of the first film and the entire second film. And this one, they feel like equals, like partners, like brothers. And I
Which,
think
I mean, to be
I think
fair,
is the relationship.
it is like older versions of the character, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like jokes going on in Fantastic Four. Remember they made Jessica Alba have the naked joke where her
In
powers
both
just
movies.
switched off. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
always getting naked. It's like, oh, okay. They're not very serious movies.
No, they're not.
And that's when you got Vanessa Kirby that's putting
She
in work
solos
with her
Galactus and
force field.
wins.
I wouldn't say solos. You can't. Is that the teleporter? But that reads
She's got
brains
that
and
new mother strength. She's Mama Bear.
Yeah,
yeah,
Lift a car off a child? No. Push Galactus through a portal.
almost all the way.
Yeah.
And then Shalabal finishes the
Finish
job.
the job. Yep. After Johnny almost sacrifices himself.
twice.
Such a Donnie move. He just
Yeah.
wants to die all the time.
Yeah, put him in a room with Tom Holland's Peter Parker after the worst year of his life, and we'll see what happens.
But yeah, no, it's good that they made her actually strong.
Yeah, and Vanessa gives an outstanding performance.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and a human, not a model.
True.
Last thing I want to say before we go, Reed's mind and the technology that we see in this movie, the FTL engine, the teleportation bridges that are built all around the world, his tests for Franklin. I think it's all really, really cool stuff that they were able to bring over from the comics
Yeah, I'm
to
still
give
waiting for
him.
his teleporter. They did the teleporter in Doctor Strange. The the personal teleporter.
Is that in Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah, remember he shows up, teleports himself in.
Oh yeah,
It's a big one that he uses in the comics,
Mm.
but it's a little
yeah,
overpowered. Reed is just he makes a bunch of things. They're just super unfair,
classic.
and they're not going to
Typical.
do a Council of Reeds because I don't know what the fuck they would do with a bunch of Reeds with
You know
Infinity
what they would
Gauntlets.
do? They would do John Krasinski, Jan Grufford, and Miles Teller.
No, no, I mean the Council of Reeds are insane. Like the
But they would
Council of
use
Reeds
those
are
three.
no, you can't. It's more than three people.
Adaptation for the movies, fan service cameos.
No, that you can't do the Council of Reeds like that. The Council of Reeds are meant to be like psychopaths or sociopaths, I guess. They like are unfeeling. They're so smart that they just believe themselves to be God of the universe. That's what makes the Reed of the Fantastic Four our Fantastic Four so different.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah,
I place this top 10 MCU.
yeah, I'm a big Fantastic Four fan, so it's up there for me.
And it's great that we've gotten, dare I say, two top 10 MCU movies this year.
Yeah, Thunderbolts is pretty good. It's tough to rank
I
all these
was
movies
talking
now.
about Brave New World, actually.
Oh, I
Could you
enjoyed
imagine?
Harrison Ford.
Could you imagine if I was? No, I'm talking about Thunderbolts, obviously. Um, but yeah, the fact that we've gotten back to back absolute bangers from Marvel plus Superman, comic book
It's too
movies,
good.
superhero fatigue, like, this is just make good movies.
Yeah, Thunderbolts didn't do so well though. So hopefully Fantastic Four makes a lot of money so that people get come back to the theaters mainly.
Yeah, that's all we
I'd
want.
be
That's
more
all.
worried
That's all
if
Tom
the
Cruise
Fantastic
wants.
Four movie didn't do better than Thunderbolts, though.
Yeah, no, that's probably true.
Say that again.
I would be worried if Fantastic Four did
Oh,
worse than Thunderbolts, because like
it
that's
will. It
like
will do
they're
better.
royal, they're Marvel royalty. Like if they don't do well, and they don't outperform the fucking Thunderbolts, yikes.
Yep,
As good as that movie is, yikes.
Yeah,
big
it
brand.
will. Well, I think it's safe to say we all thoroughly endorse the Fantastic Four First Steps. It's a lot of fun. Go see it on as big a screen as possible. Support local theaters. Support this speed run we're making towards Doomsday. Um, because we're all gonna show up day one for that anyway. So might as well get on board. All right, we will see you next week. Liam Neeson is taking on a 45-year-old comedy franchise that is near and dear to a lot of our hearts. Liam Neeson stars in The Naked Gun. We'll be talking about the reboot next week. In the meantime, go watch some good movies this weekend. Have a good night.
Good
Good night.
night.